Welcome back to the JSFL. We're here. Week 12, 1 o'clock football. We got the New Orleans Musicians at 9-2 heading to the 4 and 7. New York Businessmen for New York. If they don't win this, no chance for playoffs. But if they win this and Atlanta loses, well, New York might just be there. We'll have to see. But big piece of business. They have to beat the best team in the league, standings-wise. It probably is just the best team in the league all around. Debatable up for debate against Detroit and Seattle, but we'll have to see. But they got to be one of the best teams in the league. At least we know that. So big order up ahead for these New York businessmen. And in a couple hours, we got Charlotte against Detroit. So they also are in the same boat as businessmen. Need a win to have a shot. So these two teams will have big tests ahead of them. Here comes out Henry Gurnett, and he needs a win for his team here. They fought in week 1, where the businessmen got destroyed by New Orleans. They need better results here. Not want, need. Get due to Brandon Gahn, Charles Anderson second, as we get this one started.
And the kicker, Brandon McManus, about ready to get us started. And off we go from Soldier Field. Fielded about a yard deep. We'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So here the Bears now for their opening drive. And leading them, Charles, their quarterback, their field general.
This could be a whole lot of fun because if his game plan goes into effect early, we can see some shots downfield, aren't we? What did he talk to us about? Stretching the field. Wants to open things up for not just his receivers, but for anything underneath.
Well, that was the theme, the front page of the sports section, where the columnists write possible air raid. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the coaches view that, right? Who gave away the game plan? I think it's pretty obvious, though. That'll help them win.
Here it's complete. It'll go with a loss of 3 right away, and it's second down. And never get on a pass completion there to go the wrong way, lost yardage.
No, for some reason, it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Quickly here, that's complete. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. They'll look to throw here. He goes down just inside the 10, back at the 9.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. As his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Broncos take over, first down and 10. So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Here, that's complete. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout. The injured player. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on second and inches. Play action, they'll throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes
Down in the definite distance to take a shot downfield, and it didn't work out the way that they had envisioned.
No, that's a situation where if you take a sack close to the line of scrimmage, it's not that bad, but a loss like that, you can't take a sack there.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing you cannot do, they did.
The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for third down. They're going to look to throw. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 34, well short of the first down marker.
There's an example of good situational defense. They understood where the third down play was, the down and distance, and made sure they didn't get anywhere near that bring up for it.
They were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3 and out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football and got to him and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch.
Down on is Colby Wadman now to punt. This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. And this will be out of bounds, and they spotted it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of the game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
Off the play fake, he'll lift a throw. He'll be taken down, but they got this one up to the 35-yard line. Just like that, a pickup of 20 on their first play from scrimmage.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on first and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get 2, maybe near the 37. And this O-line is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's the 2nd and 7. The 47 this time. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw a short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you break a tackle and turn into a bigger game. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Despite the blitz, is still able to pick up a nice solid game. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fakes. There's creases like they were able to exploit right there.
So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on 2nd and less than a yard. Play action fake. They'll look to throw. They're rolling out right. They'll try and run it. And he gets us inside the 35-yard line. And it's going to be another first down as they make the tackle at the Broncos 33.
Offensively, they liked their situation, so they tried to take a shot downfield, but no one was open. So it was tuck it in run time, and he picks up a first down.
On first down, he'll drop the throw. So a little traffic there, and that's complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. First down for the Bears, a gain of 15. This drive has been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So when you think play action right here, because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it in, throw it, go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
It appeared to be a run blitz. He just started in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. 2nd and 11. Stepping up, he'll try and run. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. Throw. It's intercepted. Caught down at the 10. He's at the 50. 30. The 20. He takes this one back into the end zone. The Bronco defense has a touchdown. 3rd down, passing down. They throw the extra defensive back in there for a nickel package, and it worked out.
And it's not anything that you would think is just great strategy. It's just that when you have 5 defensive backs on the field on an obvious passing down, it's a lot tougher to complete a pass. And on that play, they completed it just to the wrong team, and it cost them 6 points.
On here, Brandon McManus for the point after. And he's got it. 7-0 Broncos. A heck of a play then defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. His opening drive there last time out looked good for a while. The offense was on the move, but then the pick six.
They were clicking. He was looking good. And, if this was a game played by real human beings, we could get an actual answer. These are virtual guys out there, so we don't know what's going to happen or what actually happened with the miscommunication on that one.
Ready? Running down out of the gun. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. 2nd and 13. That's complete. First down for the Bears, a gain of 15.
Tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. In that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. One that's incomplete. What are your thoughts on this, D-line?
I love a unit that can control the run and get after the passer. This is an all-around terrific defensive front. Hard to move the ball against them on the ground, and then when you want to throw it, look out. Here they come after the quarterback.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Here's a play fake as they set up the throw. Running to his left. Now he'll pull it down. He turned that into a nice gain. Gets him 8 yards closer for 3rd down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive gain. They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. They'll buy some time running. He may try and run for this. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackle there. The decision of good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
That's something you have to be aware of as a defense and have to find a way to account for it. But if you're not going to use a spy, you're telling your guys to keep your eyes on him, because when he breaks out and makes plays like that, all he does is
have to at least be able to contain him somewhat. There they could not. So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory, right at the 40. The throw. Coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. Past the 20. And he takes this one back into the end zone. Bronco defense has a touchdown. And this defense looking like they have come to play the pick six, and just like that, it's 13-0 early on.
Well, go back with me to our training camp visits. What do we hear during these drills? Pass.
Yes.
Ball's in the air.
And then my favorite.
Oski. That's the interception. That means everybody finds someone to block them legally, stay on your feet, and they get it done. Touchdown.
McManus now for the extra point. And it's good. And they jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. And the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. They'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to the knee, and they'll start at the 25. Here again comes the captain of this offense, leading his crew back out there now. And he's been busy with his feet. He's been quite the scrambling man.
And obviously that can break down the defense, but a lot of it is just that they just get trapped with worrying about it so much that other things break down as well. You know, you break the huddle. You're not just playing what comes out at you. You're like, oh, God, don't let him outside of the pocket. Don't let him beat us with his legs. And then he starts to beat you other ways.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And following the pick six, and they have easy field position.
I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive. And they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
They told us they got confidence that that's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. 14-0 to score. This is the NFL on the Sports. The Bears on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. To throw here. And that is incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warrants you the flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. This is taken at the 18. That'll wind up being a 50-yard punt, though they do get 10 back on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
Right side taken in here to start this drive. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Marking down at the 49. The end result, 21 yards.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. So one play, and they're already just shy at midfield. They'll set up a throw. He's got it. Got his man on the in route. Complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Bronco first down.
When you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had to read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target. It's a really nice game.
And he'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
Let's talk a little football here because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield is success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4. Here, that's complete. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
When the offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because there should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
From the shotgun now, here's an inside gill. And not a lot of daylight, not really any daylight inside as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
He'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Inside the 5. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. Last play, they got stumped at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz game. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
The end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
And that's what he's got to be happy to have back. But in the zone,
you have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
We'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal. I think they stopped him again. They did at the 1-yard line. Calling no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal.
I don't know about you, Brandon, but I often think to myself, in these situations, I want a back who can create his own space, who can break tackles, and in a sense, become his own blocker. We don't have that guy in the game right now.
They'll try to run this one in. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. Thank you. You're still just in the second quarter. You're taking the 3 points.
I am taking the 3 points, and I'm just relying on my defense here. Show me I have a little confidence in them. And let the offense know, nice drive. Come back next time. We'll go get 6 then. But for now, we'll take the 3.
So on 4th down comes Brandon McManus on the field goal unit for the Broncos. From the left hash, a chip shot here. The kick by McManus is good. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. Drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Make sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
You know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? Going to give this time to the tailback. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because when they're hoping, big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's 2nd and 8. Here, complete to the tight end. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
So a decent game, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
And this 3rd down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. They'll look to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. Now a flag comes in from the umpire after a gain of about 4. And this looks like it's going to be holding. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now, as he's on to punt for Chicago. He's been a busy man here this first half as he gets it away. Gets around him. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard. Not too shabby. And now will come the offense as they take over. And Denver getting set to take the field. And they had 3 points last time. But they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know that. Help him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe match.
I don't know about that. Super tough.
The right side here. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
This is a great example of what we talked about with the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's second and 12. Flag comes in. This might be a free play. Now they go screen. It's complete. So offsides the call, and they understandably decline it.
And this is why we're seeing more and more teams hiring that one coach to the staff that's in charge of all these things. This one's minor. It's pretty easy to figure out. But all the game management stuff, trying to help out the head coach in his decision-making process.
Now a handoff here to his running back. Give him 4 yards there. It'll be second and 6. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't put on the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
Following the pickup of 4, here's second and 6. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's dropped right at the 40.
He hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far. And after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Now on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Looking to throw. Here it's complete. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Fans, a reminder, I have a note card here that says ad-lib halftime previews. So I guess let's use that as well. Things over to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando when this one reaches halftime. Okay?
You did great. Not a bad job.
Hey,
writing down your ad.
If you print, I'm going to read it. I'm Brandon
I got to kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for easy completion and a first down.
This quarterback now nearly perfect. 9 of 10 in this first half. It's first and 10. The throw. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, that would sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they're very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but if they make them out of bounds, that does you no good.
So second down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Second and 10. That'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's third down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
He'll drop the throw. That is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And fourth down now coming up.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against the zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation. And there, the defense won the battle. And this one will not get there. Anyway, it's no good. And this stay right where it is. And that's the risk of a long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of half.
Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. We don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down. You know, but okay. You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. You did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Here's a good way to kick off a drive complete over the middle. Past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. A gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
But a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll set up the throw. Quickly here, and that's complete. Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts. As the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. On 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
The kick by Pinheiro is good. Here it's now 17-3. So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position with 6 on the board. Ended up setting up for 3.
How does the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away? It's fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. Got under a minute to go here until halftime. You got the good size lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try and add to it in the second half. But there's a part of me that looks at this and says, first half going my way, I have a little bit of a cushion. Let's go ahead and try and extend things. If you get some good plays drawn up, you might want to think about them right here.
Through here on first down. He's got him in wide open, complete. The Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop him with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Here, that's complete. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Play action, no throw. He will find his man on the outside. He is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Denver has the first down, the play going for 15 yards. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover it for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game at Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure on the passer.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he's got his man on the out route. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. Denver has a first down on the 15-yard play.
Ex teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from.
End zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
You know you don't want to make a mistake in that area. You make sure you make a smart throw. Throw it out towards the sidelines. If you overshoot your guy, so be it. It's just the incompletion that we saw there.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. They're going to make the throw. It's complete. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on 3rd down. Down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from, of course, in the first 2 minutes of the half.
Yeah, now we're going to New York, right? That's command central for the officials. They'll talk, they'll take a look at it, communicate with the referee at the game site, and issue a final decision because they do have the final call now.
The ref makes a call, no touchdown there, sweep it off the board. Now Brandon McManus for the Bronco field goal. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And McManus able to pull it through, and that will extend their lead even further. What do you think? Maybe a little disappointment. They had a pretty nice drive going at the end of the half, and they have to settle for 3.
Oh, definitely a little bit of disappointment there because when you kick a short field goal, you shake your head a little bit like if you'd done a little bit more, we've got one more shot to try and get 6. But with what little time was left on the clock, I think it was a smart play.
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will. I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will it be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one is maybe not exactly in the bag yet, but there is definitely a big mountain to climb in this third quarter. The teams are already back out there, so let's not waste any time, as we'll turn it back over to Brandon God.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Broncos with a lead, and they will be receiving this kickoff here as quarter 3 is underway. This is taken at the 3. And they'll take this from near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. They'll start the third quarter here on the ground. Takes this for 3 to the 29.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out. Running game can really benefit your team right now.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Play action fake. They'll look to throw. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the save.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's what right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go to the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Going to be caught here near midfield. And all the way down to the 35. A huge play there for Denver. 46 yards.
And that hurts defensively. They forced him in the third round, had the advantage. They give up the big play right there.
Yeah, their offense was already warming up on the sideline, ready to come out. So much for that 3 and out. So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. Quickly here, and that's complete. Lead him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Get that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed. Because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down and staying ahead of schedule. Second and 1. Back and he's got it. Right around the 20. 7 yards there and a 1st down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him the football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best. It keeps him out of it where all the big boys are. Make someone miss in the open field.
And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. Nice pickup on 1st down, 7 yards. They'll run it now out of the gun. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up 1st and goal.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try to pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. 3 red zone trips have yielded just 2 field goals for them to this point, so they'll be searching for something more on 2nd and goal here. He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. With a guy like him, you and I both know, just takes a couple of explosive touches to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. 2nd and 6. Yards away. The Broncos push further out in front.
This is what coaches talk about. Never being satisfied. No matter what the lead, always trying to increase it. You never know what can happen in this NFL.
Now McManus for the extra point. And the lead is now 24. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. Their halftime hole now even deeper. They need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Hold up, 50 click. Check, watch before. Say what you mean.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. As a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because those defensive ends are like in a sprinter stance. They're just heading straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Left side on the swing pass. He almost gets this to the 30, taken down about a yard shy. A gain there of 12 yards and a first down for the Bears.
Another pitching catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
To throw. Throw here, that's complete. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves them with a very manageable 2nd and 1. The play fake. To throw.
A little bit of good fortune there. He wasn't able to get it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Back to throw. He can run for it, and he will. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down.
His effort there, he got it done on his own. But let's face it, he puts defense in a really stressful spot when he takes off and runs because a lot of guys have coverage responsibilities.
Good job of rallying, though, because I thought when he first took off, he might pick up the first down. Gonzalo is on the clock as he gets this one away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. And Denver getting set to take the field. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive that culminated in a touchdown, I think they carry that confidence into this one. Doesn't matter where you start with the football now, they have to feel great about their opportunity.
Now a handoff looking right. They'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they can actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. And give this time to the tailback. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. First down pickup of 8.
I was on a prayer in the first half. He's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
You ready?
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Watch the twins. Watch the twins.
It's complete. Given 9 there on the first down completion.
When you throw a wide receiver screen, no matter how many blocks.
Back to throw here. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And in the and that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. And that's a loss of 7 on the first down play.
Beauty. I know they completed the pass, but look at the yardage lost. I mean, who does that make happy?
That's why I don't play in PPR points per reception fantasy leagues right there.
You'd be
You don't deserve anything for that.
but you get credit for it? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Well, I know whoever has this team's defense, they were happy about that play.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48.
They're trying to run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, put a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Ready. 70. Indy.
He'll look to throw. And he will find his man on the end route. Complete. He's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears 37.
I think it all came together there. In breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Set up a throw. Quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter action. Now that's Soldier Field. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. You guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. He'll give it here to his running back. He's got the first down inside the 10. And down to the 7-yard line. Good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Starting to look like this drive may be the final nail in the coffin.
This is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the off season. This is why you have those OTAs and mini camps for these situations, these scenarios, to run someone into the ground and secure a victory.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal. They'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. A 7-yard touchdown grab as these guys continue on. And my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
McManus's point after is good, and that will extend this big lead. So that drive goes a full 80 yards and 10 plays, and it ends with a Denver touchdown.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This is taken at the 3. He nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. So many of these drives just wind up going nowhere.
You know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him, keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Coming out throwing here. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see totally their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Back to throw. He's got it. A good pickup there. 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down.
They should put the coverage guys in a stress on that. They thought they were going deep, ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
The Bears on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Complete. 18 yards on that one, and Chicago has the first.
Hard that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you're throwing so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there is they were able to connect. So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 39-yard line. There, but it's incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
So a line of scrimmage still at 39 on 2nd and 10. To throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
When you execute a drag or crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
The last catch nearly got him at first, but it did not, and they'll try to convert on 3rd and inches. Looking to throw. And the two men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down. It just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. Made his first. This now from 46 yards away. The kick by Pinheiro is good. They'll just need 4 touchdowns as the deficit is now 28. In the grand scheme of things, those 3 points probably not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been out all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself Spectacle. That's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Well, look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He is fully awake now. If he didn't get off to the start that he normally does, they've got his attention. He's running it well.
You think they set off the alarm clock at the half? I think that's what went down. I know this, having played on the defensive side of the ball, if you do a really good job against a great runner, and you go into the half, you're excited, you're fired up, you think the game plan is working, but in the back of your head, there's that little bit of nagging doubt. Can we do this for 4 quarters? So far, that's not happening.
Going to give this time to the tailback. Able to get this one across the 35. That one going for a gain of 11 and a first down.
This is an example of breaking down a defense. These runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now ahead off to his running back. Credited with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, the pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
We'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Gain there of 21 yards.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know. Well conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 41. He'll give it here to his running back. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. That's going to wind up a loss of the full 3 yards on 1st down.
And it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Hey, Rick. Let's get it together, defense. Let's get it together. Shoot.
2nd and 13. And he'll find his man on the outside. He is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Bronco first down. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
So the ref takes a peek here, wants to see if the receiver had possession and both feet in there.
If this were a college game, this would be a legal catch. It's the second foot that they're looking at to make sure it gets down. You have to have 2 in bounds in the NFL.
Well, he challenged the play, and did not fail.
That means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
And when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup. Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling. They'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
They get this time to the tailback. He'll be dropped at the 23 after a pickup of about 4.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Broncos on third down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 4. Here, that's complete. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
And being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. Now Brandon McManus for the Bronco field goal. Right hash, it's a 35-yard attempt. The kick by McManus is good. They're well on their way now as the lead grows even larger. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further near the 4th.
And you know, in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And last time able to get 3. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the draw.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. This time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Let me go on for 6. Try and start this drive in the air. Here it's complete. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. I think it's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. 2nd and 3. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. They're going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
So the Broncos coming out now. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, a broadcaster?
Well, I'm not going to go to the player part because I think blowout.
But you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out, and no one wants to go back to those memories. But when I was calling college football, I saw a game that a team put 70. I actually saw it happen twice. A team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that hadn't been very good before now is dominating and kicking around a team who have been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck. You as the analyst, you got to fill that time.
You got to know what's going on out there and how it all happened.
Well, obviously, that begs the question, what game was it?
That was Seattle hosting Los Angeles, the Rams.
Yeah.
Their second meeting of the season, and the Rams turned it around from the first one and blew out the Seahawks.
So it's Bronco football as we get to reset here. They've got a second down now as they look to salt this one away. Now a handoff here to his running back. He is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
I have zero rooting interest in either team in this game. I only want a good game. But with all the offense we've seen from them tonight, it's kind of nice to see the defense step up and make a big play.
I was wondering if they were ever going to get him in the backfield. Nice to see him get a stop. And 22 is the line to gain here on third down. A drop to throw. And that will be incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. So out comes the field goal team once more. A 47-yard attempt from the left hash. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. So not sure how they feel about that. They had golden field position to start the drive after the fumble recovery. They went backward and then got free.
Well, let's go from gold to silver. Because the silver lining is they got the three, right? You're talking about the golden field position. They didn't take advantage of it. It has to feel like a letdown.
You always stand ready to pounce. Always. After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away. This is taken at the 3. Solid return from the field position. He'll start at the 32-yard line. The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play, pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
The drive gets caught out on the left side. A yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game for him. So what you got to do? You got to cut it down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard. Man on the interrupt, complete. He'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A Chicago first down there on a gain of 11. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
To throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. The completion good for 3 and second down. First down completion only netted of 3. Second and 7. Here's a 2nd and 7. That'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock. Will Parks there in coverage to knock it away. They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on 3rd. A look to throw here. And he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. Big offensive explosion leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points, allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gunn. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long from Soldier Field.